Yo, what's good? It's your boy Nyjah, a.k.a. King's Caliber, the Comeback King. 77 on Instagram, baby. Follow your boy. Hey, follow the YouTube channel here at God's Fault Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, put the noties on so you can get the latest episodes as we dig into all kind of topics. We here for it, you know? Hang with your boy. It's God's fault that I'm here. Don't be mad at me. Blame God. Yeah, we out.
Biggest enemy I got is myself, you know what I mean? New levels, man, everybody ain't got the same devils. My vision perspectives reach the collectives. My ops smelling like breakfast, eating like I'm cannibal, like I'm sick with perfection. I hear you.
Welcome to God's Fault Podcast, man, with my man, my fam here, Mr. Robert Williams. What's good, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. We out here in Charlotte just trying to maintain.
Charlotte, North Carolina, baby. North Carolina, man. Yo, man, how is it out there in Charlotte? What's going on in Charlotte right now?
Man, it's hot. It's super hot in Charlotte
about
right
it.
now.
Talk about it, man. I feel like it's hot everywhere, man. It's only hot in
Absolutely.
Charlotte.
Listen, man, I don't know about everywhere else, but here
You said it's real?
it's unusual, man. This is unusual.
Listen, what's the temperature like that in Charlotte today?
Actually, today wasn't that bad.
No?
I think today was like 94.
Oh, he said 94. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yo, that's crazy, boy. I know. We was just down there last week. We was in the car and it said 99 for a second. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh Lord."
Yeah, we were dealing with
Listen, this is
105.
getting out of hand, huh?
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
getting out of hand. Yeah, man. Well, listen, anyway, we're in the house, we chilling. It's cool. I'm so excited to have you on here, man, because people, this is one of my favorite people. One of my good brothers to talk to, man. And this is family right here. And this man right here, when I could say if I could say sincerity, okay, just get this man his flowers. He's a husband. He's a real man of God. I don't do the whole church thing, but my brother right here, man, him has some powerful conversations, man, and the conversations that he's had definitely impacts my life. Okay, so so my ears perk up when this man speaks. That's just real. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's the genuine article. Father, husband, entrepreneur, huh? We're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that. The segment I've been doing, man, really a lot of my guests are fathers and entrepreneurs, and they are looking to build a legacy and build business in this tough economic climate. And everybody faces challenges and have little jewels and nuggets that they drop and share. And Robert definitely comes from a place of sustainable faith, I would say. Faith that's tangible, something that you can really put your hands on and you can see it active in this man's life. And and we just gonna touch all these points, man. We're gonna get into it. So Robert, why don't you tell us currently, right now, as far as in your business, what do you currently got going on?
Yeah, so right now, man, and I appreciate that. And I didn't even have to pay him to say any of that, y'all. So I'm excited. That was free.
That's
But
right.
right now, and thank you, man. Honestly, I just before I start, we are family, man. And I told some guys that today in the barbershop, like, you gotta understand, my family came, we spent time, and we are that.
Right.
And we've had some very real conversations. And I appreciate you, man, because iron sharpens iron. So
That's a fact.
it's real, man. But for me right now, man, I'm really excited about the mental strength coach. And
Come on now.
so all the things that we go through, all the things we've been through, it's like, man, it's not just for me, and it's not just for the people immediately around me. I was like, but God's like, man, this is something that people need to hear. People are going through things, and they got to understand that it takes a certain level of mental strength, and determination. And if people will commit themselves to do the hard things, and that was coming into 2024, that was it for me. I said, you know what? I was just placed on my heart this year to do the hard things, because on the other side of the hard things was the greatest opportunity of growth. And
Mm.
we would see growth, man, it just explode in that way. So really committed to doing the hard things this year. The mental strength coach was one of those things that was an idea, and you just get presented with opportunities to present more and more and more of it. And finally, I said, man, we got to make this thing official, and go forth and just take it wherever God wants to take it. So,
All right. All right. So when you say mental strength coach,
mhm.
what is it exactly that your company do? What is it that you guys are, what do you do for the public or for businesses? Or who are you looking for? Who's your clients?
So the thing is, it's really designed for whoever's ready. And by that I mean, if you are, um, if you're a student, right? Understanding that you, regardless of what situations you come out of, regardless of where you are, understanding that you were created with purpose,
Mm.
and then becoming intentional about that purpose, and then giving some instruction on how to seek your purpose. Because once you understand that you were created with purpose, I don't care what the situation was or is or where you are currently, your value systems change. And once your value systems change, your focus changes. And once
Mm.
your focus
That's good.
changes, outcomes change. And so that's really what we're about. We're about affecting outcomes. If you're a business, business owners and those who are managers and those who are leaders are really about outcomes. How does your business really help? How does your business invest in its people? How does it help them understand even their focus and their purpose there on the job? How do people who generally look for the easy route on the job but want promotion understand that the promotion is in the hard things and the
Mm.
things that you've been avoiding, that really you make yourself more valuable either to where your current company or even for yourself outside of this by growing in those areas. And then you got your athletes. Man, I'm all about the athletes,
That's
right?
right. Yes, sir. You
So
got three of
absolutely, absolutely. Well, man, that's not easy.
them. Yeah.
And once you have an expectation of it not being easy, and you face each day understanding that it's not going to be easy, but in order
Mm.
to do this, I got to do that difficult thing. See, once you set the expectation and it's no longer a surprise, once hard shows up and you expect it hard showing up is confirmation that I'm on the right path.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I like that, man. I like that. It seems like, especially with today's climate, we live in that insta world. You know what I mean, where everything is immediate gratification. There's not really a concept of working hard. You might see posts of people working hard, but it's just clips. It doesn't mean it's the consistency every day. It doesn't mean when something challenging comes up, are you really overcoming? Are you learning a new skill? Are you learning how to overcome objections? How do you deal with rejection when you
Hmm.
think you're supposed to have something that you thought you was entitled to because of the work you put in?
Hmm.
So I can see that being a very good asset to have some, a company like yourself. Where where was this inspired from? What inspired the whole concept of this? How did you get to this point?
Man, it was interesting. So the thing about your purpose is, what you'll find a lot of times is that you were always, or your purpose was always being pulled out of you before you even recognized that you had a purpose.
Oh, break that down. What you mean?
So you start to look back. So you say, man, what am I here for? Like, right? Like, I know that there's more to this life than just trying to get money. I know there's more to this life than just trying to get through all of those sorts of things. So what is my reason for being here? And then as you sit down and you spend time with yourself, you say, man, you know, your purpose really, for lack of a better term, is a gift, right?
Mm, okay.
Well, a gift is designed to be given. So what do I
Mm,
have inside of me that's supposed to be given to others? That brings something, that brings joy, that brings growth, that brings whatever it is to others. And so I started looking back, and I could go all the way back in my life, man. And people have always pulled on me as someone that they would talk to get perspective,
Okay.
somebody that they just wanted to share whatever with. And sometimes I'm like, why is this person sharing? I don't even know this person. Why are they sharing
Mm,
so much of their life with me?
right.
Um, but you start to see that and see that people value your thoughts, your perspectives, um, sometimes your guidance, or sometimes you just listening. And so on my own journey to purpose, I understood that there were a lot of people, man, who are looking for purpose and understanding that. And so it
Yeah.
really stemmed from there.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Now, from so the kind of work that you were doing while you was dreaming this up and it started coming to you, was you related to the same dynamic? Was this something that you already was kind of like doing for other people and now you decided to do for yourself?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I've always it started out with just, believe it or not, man, it started off like kind of personally. I lived in Atlanta for like a number of years, and there were just young kids in the neighborhood that I lived in, and I would just take time sometimes. I might see them, might throw a football with them, ask how school going. Got permission, might take them to shoot some basketball. These kids are 9 or 10 years old,
Right.
and just talk to them a little bit. And what happened was the kids started showing up at my door.
Oh yeah.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
They're getting that attention and that yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And it always continued, man. Like when I moved to Charlotte, it was the same thing. And I can remember this young man. His name was Isaiah, and I'd see him. I'd be walking my dog. I saw Isaiah out one day in the yard. He had a football. I said, "Let me see that little man." I threw it with him a couple of times. Then he started meeting me every day, knowing what time I walked my dog with his football. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
you realize then, whether you want to or not, you're having an impact. Now, the type
right.
of impact depends on who I just choose to be.
Yeah, no, that's real. Now, growing up, are you the only child, or did you have brothers and sisters? And what was that dynamic like growing up? That kind of where you think kind of prepared you to be so willing to engage with the youth like that?
Yeah, so growing up, it's just me and my sister. I got a younger sister. I got cousins that are older that I called my brothers.
Okay.
But they were always, they were good guys, man, even when they weren't good guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah, I get it. I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
So they were still good guys, though. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, man, like I saw my dad do some things. Now, my dad wasn't, a basketball player or anything like that. But one of the biggest impacts that I saw was they had formed this church basketball league when I was like middle school, going into high school.
Okay.
And my dad decided to coach. Like I said, he didn't know basketball,
Right.
but he decided to coach. And we had so many kids come to our team that we had to form two teams.
Oh
But
wow.
the reason was he wasn't turning kids away. There were kids that was into a lot of stuff, but they was on our team. And then they'd be at our house. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so I saw him make an impact like that, man, just giving them a place to go play ball, to hoop, coaching them, letting them just play and spend time. And so even now, a lot of those guys, man, they still back home. They still check on him.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I
That's
mean?
dope. That's dope. It just that just goes to show the power of a father. You know what I'm saying? Like just from that simple example, that selfless act that he did just to be available within the community, directly affected other children's lives. You
Absolutely.
like men when we step up and do things like that, we have no idea how many lives you actually touch and how many lives you actually save.
Absolutely.
That's this is because somebody showed an ounce of compassion when they didn't have to, when they looking and witnessing their own fathers or people who should be leaders within their lives, um, rejecting them and just focused on self and doing whatever, or setting an example of negativity, and that, all they can do is just watch. You know what I mean? So that's powerful, even to the point that you naturally picked up on it. That's why I always say it's so important to have, and there's no knock on any single parents out there, women or men, but it's always important to have a 2-parent household
Mm-hmm.
so that children can get a balance of what family is, because you pick up things from both your mother and your father.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that influence, that the example is more than anything that any words can come out of your mouth. I could tell them in your young men, regardless, they're young men, but they watch their father be a man 24/7. They
Mm-hmm.
have no choice but to be a man. They will have to fight so hard against it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where their friends and stuff, they might have friends and things or teammates that don't have that, and they just looking at them like, yo, you bugging. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's very powerful, man. That I like that. I like that a lot. So with that example and what you started doing, when did it really click to say, wait a minute, I can offer this as a service, as a
Mm-hmm.
business. This is something that that I want to put out there, but at the same time, if they pay me for this service, I can really dig deep and hone in and improve the quality of people's purpose and whatever endeavors they're trying to do. When did that part click in for you?
So this is wild on my job, man, and this is how like God is really doing something. Like the things that you just have thoughts about, and He starts to put things in front of you that you have nothing to do with. You didn't put it together or anything like that.
Right.
I was working for this company, and the company, they had never done this before, decided that they were going to bring in this Hall of Fame speaker
Mm.
to do some training with some of us,
Okay.
in regards to speaking. And they had done it. I'm sorry, they had done it once before I got there, and people had gone through it, and they were like, it was the most difficult thing they had ever done. And so now I'm about to be in this training, like it's called the Speaker Intensive Training.
Okay, hold on. Don't lose the thought. You just piqued my interest. Why was
Okay.
this the most difficult thing that they ever did?
They just said, man, they were like, this guy's so tough. Like the way he puts you on the spot with things, and the way
Oh,
he
the
makes you
people, the
think.
experience to
Mm-hmm.
them was tough because he
Yeah,
was like forcing them to take a look at themselves.
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
tracking. Continue,
And
sir.
so
Sorry.
they're setting me up for this,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I'm like, sometimes, I don't know, maybe just being ignorant to a thing, or maybe I'm just, I'm thinking I'm too cool, right? So
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, man, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gonna go in there and do what I do. I literally saw a couple people walk out of class when I was in there. Like, they just freaked out, can't
Wow.
do this. So I'm like,
Wow.
man. Now, I had never really spoken in front of like groups before, and he gave us like an impromptu thing to speak on. You had to get up in front of the group and just off the top of your head do this thing.
Right.
And when I did it, the class gave me a standing ovation.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, it was crazy. And this dude, again, his name's Alan. He's in the Speakers Hall of Fame. He stopped and he said, I want to tell you something. He said, speaking is going to open doors for you that won't be open to a lot of people.
Mm.
Never met this guy, didn't know him, nothing.
Mm.
So much so that he said, you know what? He's based out of Colorado. He said, I want to make sure you have access to me anytime you want.
Okay.
I just want to take time, share with you. I'll endorse whatever. That was years ago. Fast forward a little bit, and it becomes one of those things where I literally just had these thoughts about and created this 7-part purpose series, and said, man, I just offered it. And it was interesting because it was a very specific time. And it's like, no, this has to be for people who want it.
Right.
And so intentionally, it was 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. And I had a group of people for 7 consecutive Saturdays at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning who invested their time and gave an hour to an hour and a half on that Saturday morning to get this stuff.
Really? Now, was this at the job? This was at the job?
This
This?
was independent. This is all on my own.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you got, wait, hold on. You got a group of people to give up their Saturday morning starting at 7 a.m. for 7 weeks?
for 7 weeks.
Oh, come on, man. Come
Yeah.
on, man. What? Listen, I'm gonna need some sauce,
And
brother.
that's when
Huh?
I knew, like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Oh,
might get the people there 1 week, right?
yeah.
But 2 weeks, you're like, all right, I'm lucky, whatever. You know what
Now
I'm saying?
wait,
They
was they
feel
coming to
bad.
your home or you had like a facility?
This was Zoom.
Oh, on a Zoom call. Okay,
Yep,
at
on a
7
Zoom
a.m.
call at
Now all of them
7
were
a.m.
they were like all Eastern Standard Time too. They was like all
Yeah,
East. Okay, okay, okay.
all Eastern Standard
At
Time.
7 a.m.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm
yeah.
intrigued.
So fast forward to my job. Um, part of what we do, or part of what I do with the mental strength coach also is difficult conversation training, and mediation.
Okay.
And fast forward to my job, we're working with this company um, that deals with veterans and reducing the suicide rate among vets.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and literally, I start this job, and my boss says to me, probably first week, she says to me, I feel like part of my responsibility is to help you get your voice out to the world.
Your boss said this.
My boss says this.
Okay. Okay.
So as soon as some things happen with our client, um, she put me in contact with them, and they had me come in and lead a session with their employees to help manage some difficult conversations, some difficult, some other things. And so finally, coming into 2024, we had talked about it, and I finally put together the blueprint and said, "This is what I'm doing." And so my company decided to contract with me now, so that I actually do difficult conversation management for managers, as well as mediation for some of our clients.
Right.
And got asked to speak at a SHRM event, which is the National um, Human Resources event, doing this training. And they liked it so much that SHRM actually certified it for continuing education credit for their members.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow.
so
So
it's
you laid it heavy on it. So wait a minute. Hold on. When was the first time you actually stood up in front of a crowd to speak? How old were you when that happened?
man. So I'm gonna tell you something crazy. I used to be so scared to speak in front of people.
Okay.
I took a class in college that was a speech class in college, and I could barely get through the class. I would melt in front of people.
Really? When you say melt, what do you mean melt? Like
I mean, I would freeze. I get the dry mouth. I'd probably
sweating and
lose
everything?
15 pounds, probably 15 pounds just up there sweating.
So
Um,
wait, so before college, you never even just stood up and spoke? You was never like in a play at school, nothing, a presentation at the church, nothing?
I've been in a play, and I've done the standard Easter. Uh,
Hey, look, you want to know what's crazy? I remember when I was a shorty going to church in Patterson at Olivet Good Shepherd Church. Shout out to Deanna, man, our choir director. I probably started when I was like 5 years old. I promise you, every choir rehearsal that I was at the singing at, I cried. Yo, I would cry. I was so scared and I cried every Sunday. I cried every choir rehearsal. Boy, I did not want to be up in front of people. And who knew one day I'd get on stage with hundreds of thousands of people and be doing my thing.
that's how you know it's not you, man.
That's
Like,
wild. That's just to even
uh,
think about that. So you sweating bullets in the speech class
yes.
and you kept going.
And I was like, man, I just knew speaking was not my thing. It was not for me. And like I said, going back to my job, man, When we did that speaking intensive, it was weird. The first time he asked me to get up, I had no nerves, and
Really?
it just flowed. I mean, it just flowed, and
And wait,
I
and how
couldn't
long ago was
believe it.
that? How long ago was that? You said?
That was 2011. Was it 2011, 2012?
So wait a minute. Okay, so that was 2011, 2012. When was the
Mm-hmm.
first time? Because I remember me and you was communicating through text a few weeks ago, and you was
Mm-hmm.
about to speak, preach, like preach.
Listen,
So wait,
listen.
how was that? That wasn't the first time that you was preaching, was it?
I had when at that time, 2011, 2012, I had not preached ever.
Never preached a sermon. First time really getting up, real talk with a purpose in front of folks
Yeah,
to guide and lead. Oh wow,
yeah.
that's huge.
The first time I actually preached, it was either was it 20? It was either end of 2014 or going into 2015.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
okay. All right. So wait. So the day when he asked you to speak, you
hmm
wasn't prepared to speak. You didn't even know you were speaking
He actually he came up with a topic that day
on the
and
spot.
said on the spot and said, I need you to deliver this speech
You
to this
freestyle.
group, and you got to freestyle. And I think I had like 3 minutes to kind of get my thoughts together.
Woo. So wait,
But what
how many
happens
prayers you put
is,
up in them 3 minutes for you?
listen, man, listen. But so the funny thing about it is, it's like the cool thing about that is once you've done that, you feel like there are not too many like spots you can put me in from a speaking perspective that I'm not ready for.
Right.
Because I mean, what else can you do? Like this is off the top of the dome.
Right.
This is There's no preparation, so there's nothing on the other side of that. You know what I mean?
Right. That's yeah. And everything. Another thing too. Everything that you taught. And what was the topic again? What was the topic? You remember?
Oh man, I don't remember the topic. I wouldn't even go back and watch the playback. Like it's all recorded,
You
and
gotta watch the
I wouldn't even
playback.
watch it. I wouldn't even
Come
watch
on,
it.
man. I need this tape. I need to see
I'm
this.
at the I'm at the
I need to see this tape, man. Because the reason why that's intriguing to me is because whatever you said was purely, and it
okay.
resonated and got a standing ovation. And how big was the crowd? How many people was in the room?
It's maybe 40 people, 30, 40 people. Yeah.
I promise you I was ready for you to say something like 12, 13 people. 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
40 comprehending adults. Wow. People don't realize how hard it is to talk in front of people. Like when they don't do it. Like it's amazing. Like I always watch the critics, you know what I mean? Like I'll be looking at comments and stuff, and they got so much to say, but they're never up front. You know what I mean? It's easy to yell from the
hmm
back of the crowd, but they
hmm
never up front. You never see them doing anything, and they have no idea what it takes to be engaging, to be knowledgeable about what you're talking about, to hold somebody's attention. You know what I
hmm
mean? To not get lost, not to ramble and rant. Like
Right.
they have no idea, what it takes with these skill sets and what people have to go through, and then to fight through your own nerves, especially if it's something that you're not even used to doing. So that's
I'll
dope.
I'll share this with you though. Alan Paris was his name. So Alan, if you hear this, I want to share this with you because
Wait,
you
say
helped
his
me a
last
lot.
name one more time.
Paris,
Paris.
Alan Paris.
Alan
Yep,
Paris. Okay.
yep,
Shout out to Alan Paris, man. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. He shared something with me, man, that is so simple, but it changed everything. He said most of the time when people get up to speak, they're nervous because of what they think people are thinking. He was like,
Mm,
so if you acknowledge what you think they're thinking about up front, then it takes the power away from it and it actually empowers you and gains empathy. So I used
mm,
to be so worried about looking nervous and people could see me sweating and everything.
mm-hmm.
So when I first got there, my thing was, okay, I'm gonna let you know this now. I sweat. So you're gonna see me wipe my brow a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
just go ahead and prepare for that.
Right.
Once I said that, there was nothing else to think about. So as I wasn't worried about, looking like I'm falling apart. They know I'm going to sweat. They expect it, and
Right.
there's no more power to it. Change. It's
Change the
simple,
game.
but it changed everything.
Hey, you seen 8 Mile, right? The Eminem
Hmm.
movie. Remember when Rabbit got up there when he was like, "Yeah, I'm poor, I'm white, trailer trash," da, 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 da. And he took all the power away from dude.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like everything you could say about me, I said it about myself. So now go take your best shot. What you got?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like it. I
There's
like it. I
nothing
like
else. Then what you gonna say now? You
Yeah,
know what I
you
mean?
got nothing else. So listen, I'm sweat. I get a little sweat. Listen, I sweat too. I'm sweating like a mother right now. But yeah, that's I like that though. That's all right. That's all right. So so wait a minute. So here's something that you triggered a thought. But before we even get into that, I'm just gonna pause right here, right? Take a quick little break, and then we're gonna come back to it.